Hi everybody, my name is Kayce and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today what we're going to be doing is decorating and terraforming around my Able sisters. I decided to put it right next to my resident services because I've never done this on any of my islands before. So I am just going to go ahead and start up the Island Designer app and start decorating. So I know I want to have a little sewing area right next to the shop, kind of like a little area if Mabel or Sable wants to just come outside and do some designing. So I'm just using this little tea table and then figuring out what items I want to place on top of it. So I decided to go with that cartoonist set to kind of simulate them coming outside and sketching an idea for a new design. So now I'm just trying to figure out the placement of the seating next to the table. So for whatever reason, these smaller seating areas tend to be the areas I spend the most time with on my island. I think it's typically because I'm working with a smaller, kind of awkward amount of space, so it's just kind of takes some time playing around with the items and placement of everything. So I found these really cute dresses. One has like a little bear like in the little pocket and the other one has a tulip on it. So I just used that to display outside, and now I am just going around and laying down this grass pathing. So right here, I am just trying to figure out how I want to arrange the flowers and trees. I know I want to have flowers surrounding this path. I tried that pear tree, but it looked a little bit too big. So I am just kind of testing and playing around with different items. I know I want to have like a bunch of smaller seating areas in the front of Abel's, kind of like you can just go there and do some sewing or, you know, hang out there, whatever. So right here I am just placing down a little butterfly model, and then I'm going to just frame the rest of this pathing with some flowers. And then I decide to use a peach tree right next to this little picnic area. I just like the color that it adds, and then I am going to go ahead and make a little sewing area right underneath the peach tree and then put some of the fencing behind it with one of those cutout standees. And then I know I want to have this area feel kind of enclosed, so I'm going to just go ahead and use a stunted tree and put it on the side there, so it gives it more of a cozy feel. So I decided to swap out that log chair with one of those little study chairs. I just feel like it fits the area a bit more. And then this side I struggled with items a little bit. This mush log looked too tall in front of the flowers, so I go ahead and place it back here and just throw down a custom design. And then for this area right here, I'm just kind of playing around with different items. I know I want to have something here, but I'm just having a little bit of a difficult time choosing what items I want. So I decided to put the mom's candle set on top of that leaf stool. I feel like that fits the area really nicely. And then I do decide to swap out that stunted cedar tree for a hardwood tree. I just feel like it kind of blends in a little bit more nicely next to the other hardwood trees. And I am going to start and lay down the rest of this grass pathing. I'm really liking using this grass pathing for my island. It's light enough where you can still see it, but it's not too colorful or distracting, where I can go ahead and use different colored flowers around it to kind of accentuate some of the yellows and white tones in the path. And then I do decide to use this really cute umbrella code where it just looks like kind of a pile of clothes folded up, and I put it next to that little sewing area. So I just feel like that fits that area really nicely. One thing I want to do more of on this island is the pathing kind of broken up in different sections like I'm doing right here. I just feel like that looks a bit nicer. Instead of having one really long path, it's nice to have little broken up sections for the different areas of the area that you are decorating in front of. So right now I am just going around and trying to frame the rest of this pathing with flowers, bushes, and different items. I also just wanted to mention that I restarted my old island, the one that I really started this YouTube channel on. I restarted my old island because I just wasn't feeling how it looked in the flyover. And I really tried everything I could to redecorate and redesign and terraform that old island, but I just wasn't feeling it. So if you're watching this video and kind of wondering why it looks different, this is why. I reset it a couple days ago and I'm so happy I did. I really like my current layout a lot more than my previous one. So this new island is still called Wildflower, but it just has a bit of a different map. So then right here I am just doing one of my favorite things, which is decorating and terraforming the clifftops. I decided to use that little yellow butterfly model right in the middle there, and then I accidentally filled in this little section down here below the waterfalls, so I just have to kind of go back in and reshape that little area. Just semi-annoying, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And right now I am just doing a little bit of waterscaping on this top level of cliff right here, and then I will be finishing decorating this cliff top. I wanted to kind of expand the design that I had below Abel's on this cliff, so that's why I'm using this kimono stand right here. And then for the rest of this area, I want to make it like a cute little picnic area. But first, I guess I decide I need to finish up this cliff right here. I do want to go ahead and put a tree on top of here, so I'm just kind of reshaping the waterfalls a little bit and then grabbing a tree to put up here. And then I think I've mentioned this before, I do like to take breaks with my terraforming and waterscaping and go back to decorating, so that is why I am back down here just kind of filling in the area a little bit, because I needed a bit of a break from the terraforming and waterscaping on the cliff. So right now I am just expanding this area a little bit more. I want to go ahead and include a cedar tree on top of these waterfalls, so I just needed to expand that area a little bit so I could fit a tree in there. So right now I am just trying to put this mesh partition down. It was a little bit tricky to get it to fit in, but I planted that bush right there to kind of block some of it. And then I am just going to go ahead and start decorating the side of this cliff right here. So now that I got the side of the cliff decorated, I can go back up on the top of it and start filling it in with some flowers. So as I'm sure you can see, my theme for this area is going to be a lot of orange, yellow, and green flowers. I really like how those look together. I think for this island as a whole, I want to stick to that color palette. And I think that's why I struggled with my old island, because I just had different colored flowers and items everywhere and it wasn't really feeling cohesive. So if you find yourself in a similar position where you're kind of struggling with your island theme, I would definitely suggest picking out like 3 or 4 colors you want to stick with. I feel like that definitely helps. I would start with maybe flowers and then kind of bring those same colors into whatever custom designs you decide to use on your island. So right here I decided to put a little aroma pot on top of the Zen cushions right in front of that garden wagon. I just think it looks really pretty like that. And I'm just going in and filling in these last couple spaces that are empty on this side of the cliff. One other thing I just wanted to mention, for this island, I really want to try and make it so both of my river mouths connect with one another, so I just kind of have to be conscious of what terraforming I'm doing and make sure that I can make that happen. So right here I am just going to go ahead and start decorating this little cliff top. I know I want to have like a cute little seating area right here, so I just lay down that cute rug coat with some shoes and then fill in the background area with some flowers. So I am a really big fan of this spooky lantern set. I think it's really cute when you turn it around backwards, and you can also place an item on top of that. So I just think that item looks really, really cute, even though it's not Halloween. I feel like you can use it really in any season except maybe winter. So for this area, I'm kind of just playing around with the different codes and trying to see which one looks best. I want to put a little seating area right here and then a little phone booth behind it. So for a second here, I was thinking if I wanted to extend this cliff and maybe put nooks next to it, but I decided to leave it like this for now and just finish up the little bit of waterscaping and decorating I have right here. So now I am just going to move on to the second half of this build. I found this really pretty brick path, so I'm just going to lay that down in front of Abel's to make kind of a little walkway and transition area. Also, I have a question. So I honestly wasn't sure whether or not to include this part in the video where I'm just kind of laying down this brick path. So if you have any thoughts or opinions on whether you like it or you could go without it, please let me know in the comments. I decided to include it because I didn't want anybody to kind of wonder how this path magically got there. You know, obviously I would fill it in, but if this is something that you would rather not see, I can totally edit it out. I did speed this area up like I did for the rest of the build, so it's not too long, but I just wasn't sure if people would be interested in watching this or not. But after I lay this path down, I will start decorating on the other side of this and kind of just work on the transition area in front of Abel's. So right here, I am just going in and putting down some flowers and kind of decorating it a similar style as I did on the other side of the brick pathing. So for this little area right here, I know I want to have it be a little seating area right next to this waterway. So I'm just kind of messing around with some fencing and codes and different items to see what looks best. And then right here I am using one of my favorite codes, the little squirrel with the berry in its mouth running towards the strawberries. I just think that's so freaking adorable. And then I decide to lay down this really pretty heart rug with some blue flowers on it with the green hammock on top of it. And then I'm just playing around with different items of what to place next to it. I decide to go with this little log stool and the Berliner. So for this area, I do want it to be a little bit more enclosed, so I'm just trying to play around with the placement of this stunted tree. So this is the last little section I have to work on, just kind of framing this brick pathing and placing down a couple more items next to this little picnic and seating area. I do decide to place the tiny library right there and surround it by some flowers. I just think that looks really cute. And then all I have left to do is fill in some more flowers next to this little picnic area, and then I will give you all a final walkthrough. Alright, so I went ahead and time traveled to my favorite time of day around 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning, and this is the completed Abel's. So I have this cute little seating area right here with one of those little sewing projects, and then you can kind of see the cliffs in the background that I decorated. I really think this area looks so beautiful around this time in the game because it's kind of like golden hour, so a lot of the colors really pop out nicely. And then I have this little seating area if I could just get up on this bench. I really like this as well. You know, I would love to see my villagers just coming and sitting here and reading their little book. And then as we go along this way, this is the first area that I started in this build, which is just the little designing area for Mabel and Sable to come and hang out at on their breaks or when they just want to get outside. And then if we start to head this way, there is that little sewing area with the little umbrella code that has the folded shirts. And then if we head to the other side of the pathway, there is that little hammock area I made. And I just have some more butterfly models. So I had such an amazing time filming this speed